Welcome to our third Alan Levine, the Talking Machine show. Of course, I'm Alan Levine. Thank you to all of our BPTV fans for your feedback and watching my shows. I appreciate that. Thanks for liking my new Facebook page. It's a mouthful. Alan Levine, the Talking Machine show, all in caps on show. So thank you for that. And if you just heard this, please like that page. If you don't ask, you're not going to do it. So get your smartphone out. I'll check. I have another great guest who's a woman entrepreneur, and we've been friends because of BPTV. I was honored to do a tea show with her at 3 tea stops, and I have my own talking machine, loose leaf green tea, because of this guest. I'll let you introduce yourself, my guest. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Alan. I'm excited and pleased to be here. Your guest number 3. 3's my lucky number.
What synchronicity of the universe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Congratulations on your new show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, please tell the folks your name. I kept it a mystery.
Well, my name is Kim Adley, and I have a show on Bethel Park Television called Passport to Pittsburgh Adventures. And I also have a show, a storytelling show called Big Ideas for Little People with the Queen of Hearts. So a lot of good, wonderful, positive things happening here at BPTV.
Yes, and for 2 producers to combine again on a show, I'm honored. And I'm going to start this out really easy. Like, where did you grow up?
Oh my gosh, well, I am a South Hills girl, Alan. I grew up in Baldwin Whitehall, went
Nice.
to Baldwin High School, and I still live there, very close to the Bethel Park line.
Right. You
So-
remind me of a lot of Pittsburghers.
I am a Pittsburgh girl. Yes, I am.
But you're a traveling girl. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay, great.
Did you
I love
go-
Pittsburgh.
Me too. I bleed black and gold, as you know, too.
I know you do. You are there to support our sports teams.
No matter what. But I will be honest when they don't do well. So,
Well, hey, we have to be honest when they don't do well. But we can't be fair weather friends.
Yes.
And fans. We have to, support them no matter what.
sure.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
exactly.
So, did you go to college?
I did.
Where at?
Pittsburgh.
No way.
Yeah, my undergraduate, I went to Duquesne University, studied communications and journalism, and then my master's degree is from University of Pittsburgh in education.
Wow, what a combo there.
Yes.
No wonder you're so good. I appreciate your interviews and your shows. I can't say
thank
I've
you.
watched all of them, but the ones that I've watched, the 4 or 5, they've been great.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I've enjoyed it. I wanted to share that personally with our friends and fans of BPTV and you.
Well, thanks so much. I really enjoy interviewing people and meeting new people and creating information for the viewers of the Bethel Park community and everyone who watches BPTV.
Well, you're on the same theme I am. I like to have fun and provide information. And that's
Yes.
what we're doing today. Now, I
Exactly.
know you've talked about your 2 sons.
Oh, yes.
Could you say something about them or even say hi to them?
I would. Oh my gosh. Hi, boys. It's a mother's job to embarrass her children a little bit, but 2 best things I've ever done in my entire life, and I've done a lot of things, Alan, but was raising those 2 boys.
Understand.
Yeah, and I know
Tell us
you,
their names.
David and Alex, and they
Okay.
are fine young men, but they both live in Virginia now. And so it's a long drive for me to get there.
Sure.
But I constantly am reminding them of their roots and not to forget Pittsburgh, right? So,
How
for
can you?
example, Christmas I got my son a cornhole game, and the bean bags were black and
I,
gold.
I saw
Pittsburgh.
that. You posted that up. I saw that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, so constantly reminding them not to forget where you came from.
Very
and,
good.
That always come back home.
Well, you're a good mother.
Thank you.
Definitely. I appreciate. And what was your first job?
My first
Especially
job.
with those degrees.
Oh, had nothing to do. Well, before the degrees, my very first job was when I was a teenager
Where at?
at cleaning.
Wow.
I was working at an apartment complex, and to this day, I really don't like cleaning, Alan. And so I I try to avoid it
Do you?
at all costs, yeah, and get out of the house as much as possible. It doesn't seem to go away; it's still there. But yeah,
Well, how about laundry? When does laundry disappear?
it never does.
That's one of the thankless jobs that I
isn't
have.
it? And you know, I look at the laundry pile and I think I'm either the cleanest person or the dirtiest person. I don't know where all this laundry comes from, right?
I know, and during COVID, you know, with it being so laid back, I'd leave my clothes in there for 3-4 days.
Oh, my
and I heard
goodness.
other people were doing that.
Yes, yes. It wasn't.
There's no urgency.
There was no urgency. We were kind of all in sweatpants, and so it's really great that things are turning around and we're able to
Right.
get out and
Well, they are getting better. Look, we're not wearing masks. We're in the studio and we're healthy.
exactly.
and
you're
I'm vaccinated.
Me
Yes.
too. Me too.
So we're trying to open the door to more and more. And this is the
Exactly.
start of it. All right, your first job was as a teenager. How about during college? Did you work
Well,
doing anything?
Yeah. Well, my first job as I graduated from college was I went to work for a Fortune 500 corporation, Xerox Corporation.
I've heard of them.
Yes. In fact, you know, they coined the term. People always used to say, instead of making a photocopy, they'd say, oh, go Xerox that, you know. So I worked for them and briefly selling copiers.
How
But
briefly?
Very briefly.
Okay.
It wasn't
You have a
like that.
you have a great gift of gab.
I do, but I have to be passionate about what I'm selling. And I wasn't really excited about selling copiers at the time. But,
No, I understand that because I've sold different products too.
You have to really have a passion for what you're selling. And when I do, I can sell you just about anything, Alan.
Sure.
But then after that, bouncing around a little bit in sales, I had always wanted to be in television. So
Really?
yeah, and being a TV anchor person, but that didn't happen, you know, and that's really hard to get into back in the day. But
Especially for women. I'll
was.
just drop a name for you. Eleanor Shano and her daughters and my sisters were friends. So
Oh,
I met
yes.
Eleanor Shano
she was a
back in the
pioneer.
60s and 70s when she was doing all of the great TV work and everything. Just a great person
she
who
was
just passed.
Yeah, she did, and I know her daughter Lori very well, and she was a real pioneer for women journalists in Pittsburgh, and really admired her
Sure.
very much. But that's what I originally wanted to do, but ended up going back to school, getting the master's degree, and became a teacher
Oh, good.
and taught elementary school. But this, you know, this adventure later in life. Having my own TV show here with BPTV has really fulfilled a dream for me on my bucket list.
You came full circle.
I did. I did.
What
Yeah.
school did you teach at to start?
I taught in Brentwood School District.
Oh, so you moved down the street a little.
Just down the street. Yeah, really.
Or up the street on 51 there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
understood.
Yeah.
No doubt. So what got you started into doing a show at BPTV? How did that come about?
Well, I started a company.
That's what I wanted to get out of you. Tell me
Yes.
that.
I started a company about 6 years ago, and I was a guest on another producer's show, Denise Galoni.
Sure. What a great person she is.
Fabulous person.
Great interviewer also. She's a future guest, just so you know.
Wonderful. She's a really good
Because she
friend
has a
of
book
mine.
coming out.
She does, and she had a show called Empowered Women.
Yes.
And I was blessed to be a guest on her show, and I remember that the interview was really fun. And afterwards, I said I'd love to, you know, have my own show. And next thing you know, the creative director here and head honcho Dave Cable, you know, had called Andy Emrine, and
What a connection.
yeah, and that's how it all fell into place. And Andy became my producer, and I pitched some ideas to Dave about having a show that takes people on virtual tours
Sure.
of the city, and gets them excited about trying to go out and do it on their own. So Andy had me as a guest on his show around
Of course.
Town with Andy,
Andy's the best.
and then we launched my show from his show.
Okay.
So well, it was Denise, and then Andy, and then my show.
Right.
And that's kind of how it's a family here at BPTV, and we all sort of help each other.
There's no competition. We just support each other, which is so
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
And again, I'm honored to have you on telling your story to
Thank
fans of mine and yours that may not know this story. So
Well,
I've been
yeah.
digging on that. So 6 years ago, how did you start this Passport for Pittsburgh?
Well, Alan, I was working as a tour guide for another company
Okay.
and doing creative work for them, and but really not getting paid very well. And I thought I can do this better. I can make my own money. And I went back to school because I'm a lifelong learner, and I went to the Center for Women's Entrepreneurship.
Wow.
And I took
know of them, yes.
Yes, they're fabulous. I took a course called My Business Startup, and it was like 8 weeks. And in that time, I wrote the business plan for my company called Passport to Pittsburgh.
That is great. What a
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah, and
I know a few women entrepreneurs and have told me that, and I had Joanne Forrester on my show.
oh,
that you
she's
have.
lovely.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
just a great person.
We're a network, we're a sisterhood of female entrepreneurs in Pittsburgh, and it's growing by leaps and bounds how many women
Well,
starting their own businesses.
I'll share this. With having 3 sisters, it was always run, and a mother was outnumbered, me and my dad. So I have respect for women, and what I like with your groups is there's not the competition between each other. There's the help from each other.
Oh, yeah.
And you're truly a group that does great things.
We do. We really support each other, lift each other up, and try to support one another's businesses as much as possible. So that's a really good thing.
No, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So then
so
there's-
you were doing the Passport for Pittsburgh.
Right.
How did your first show go? Did it go like you had thought? Because there's
Oh.
always little things when somebody does a first show, I go, this will be your worst show, and the rest will be the best.
Actually, they've all gone smoothly.
That's what I wanted to know. Great.
Yeah, they've all gone very smoothly, and they've all been some really interesting themes. I have a few favorites, but
Tell me one favorite. Tell me one favorite off
my
the top of your
favorite
head.
one was my tea tour one because you were my guest.
Thank you.
Well,
We had so much
I've
fun.
been following your green tea
Loose
weather
leaf green tea weather report
Yeah, I've
daily.
been following that, and I think we were at an event, and I've said, hey, let's do a tea tour about green tea, and it was a great show. We visited several varieties of tea houses.
Yeah, some of
We learned a lot.
we
and
went to one of my favorites, Dobra tea.
Dobra, yeah.
And Nate's the best there.
Yes.
And he even did something unusual since you got me on the subject. I steeped my loose leaf green tea for 2 minutes. He was steeping green tea for 20 seconds.
Right.
And it actually tasted very well.
Right. But to be honest with you, Alan.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really fun show to do that with you. But the show I'm most proud of is one that I won an award for last year about the Stronger Than Hate emblem.
I was hoping you were bringing that
Yeah,
up
and
because that's
how
so meaningful.
It was a great show, and how it was created by a South Hills guy, and we did a great show over at the Tree of Life Synagogue and focused on some sensitive issues, but I think the show was super well done, so we're really proud of it.
Oh, it was definitely needed, and with my Jewish heritage, I appreciate that,
Yeah.
that I have family and friends that go to that synagogue.
Yes.
So it affected people that I knew.
And I'm happy to learn recently that they're going to be redoing the inside and creating a gallery of the artwork that was submitted
Wow.
from the children around the country and the world. Support.
That's so special.
It is. It's going to be such a nice. It's going to be a positive way for that place to be repurposed for people to go there and pay tribute to those who lost their lives.
No, I'm all about that positivity. Every day I put up something positive.
Yes,
and
you do.
we try to, because I want to help at least one person each day.
Yes, you do.
So my mission is I got another one that's a fan of mine right here. So that made my
Exactly.
day.
Exactly.
Thank you. So we did Passport for Pittsburgh.
Right. Well, Passport to Pittsburgh took a really big hit last year because of the pandemic,
Yes.
as all of tourism in the city and, of course, the world
Yes.
took a hit. So,
And sports. I lost my
Oh,
part-time job with Pittsburgh Sportsline. Only
yeah.
2 on-location shows all year.
everything, just was derailed last year because of the pandemic. So I do see some light at the end of the tunnel now.
Give an announcement, please.
Yes, and Passport to Pittsburgh is back in business finally after over a year. Thank you. And we just sent out our first newsletter of 2021 listing 2 tours coming up, just starting out slowly, Alan, to see
Yes.
how it is received by whether people are really ready. I know some people are, so we're just starting out slowly with a couple of fun tours in June.
Well, I'm optimistic. I'll just share this with you. They're over ready.
You think they're over ready?
They're over ready.
Oh, well,
so
I have my
good
fingers
luck.
crossed.
I'm giving
fingers
you,
crossed.
you get good karma when you talk to me. So you got
Good,
that.
good.
Good karma's coming your way.
Right. Well, the governor just announced that after Memorial Day, they're going to lift the restrictions on social distancing and capacity limits.
Right.
So that really helps me in terms of taking people on the bus to places that they want to go.
Right.
And
well, it's
feeling
hard to make money with 2 people in the bus. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. So we have 2 that we just announced today. One is called Teacups and Flower Pots.
Your timing couldn't have been better because I saw the email when I got it, and I said, she's going to be on my show.
I know.
I want to hear about that.
Right. Well,
Let it rip.
well, it's going to be a wonderful day at a fabulous tea house out in Hickory, Pennsylvania,
Nice.
called Uniquely Yours, and high tea service. And then we're going over to Farm Market in McDonald, PA, and we'll have a wine tasting. Bedner Farm makes their own wine.
Yes.
And a sip and paint class where they paint their own flower
What a
pot.
combo.
And learn about succulents, which is a type of plant. And
You mean like my aloe vera?
yes, and then transplant it, bring it home. So that tour definitely fits my tagline, the tourism trifecta: have fun, learn, and leave with a smile.
Well,
So-
being a horse owner from the Meadows, I respect the trifecta.
I love a trifecta. Yes, sir.
That means 3. Combination, no matter
3.
what order.
And they're winners, right?
And if you don't bet, don't start, but that's part of gambling. Just had to share that.
Okay, and then the second one, which I think you might enjoy, is Father's Day weekend.
You teased me with that.
I know I did. It's June 19th, and it's called All Aboard Tour. And it's a World War II reenactment train ride on the Oil Creek and Titusville Railroad in Titusville. And there's going to be a World War II camp reenactment.
Wow, that
And
is
then,
amazing.
Yeah, the train ride goes out for an hour, and it's occupied by the Germans while we're driving out.
You're
Then
kidding.
there's a battle, and then you know who wins? The Allied forces.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I know
And
history.
And the Allies take over the train for the ride back. So it's
Wow.
going to be a fun day, and then we're just going to stop and have some fun food on the way home. Eddie's footlong hot dogs in Meadville and Hank's frozen
Nothing like good eating.
world famous custard. We need to have some fun.
Yes.
We need to have some fun again, Alan.
That sounds like a fun
Yeah.
day.
And
Definitely.
more coming. Just taking it slowly because it was quite painful last year. But we'll just take it one day at a time, one tour at a time, and see how people respond.
Well, I'm so happy for you that
Thank
you're
you.
able to rejuvenate your business, which you're passionate about.
I am.
And I appreciate passionate people. So
Yeah,
that is
thank
great
you.
news.
Thank
And I'm
you.
glad we could kick it off on my 3rd Talking Machine show.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't delve into being a teacher at all. Can you tell me some stories? Because you do some interesting things around holidays that.
Well, my other business I've had for 26 years is a storytelling
That's
business.
what I'm trying to get into.
Right, it's my storytelling business, and it's called Characters by Kim, and I have dressed in costume for years and gone out and done school assemblies for children.
My favorite's Mrs. Claus.
I do work as Mrs. Claus, Mary quite contrary. I have a scarecrow character, but my most popular character is the Queen of Hearts.
Whoa.
And that was also a business that suffered during the pandemic because kids weren't in school.
Sure.
So
Great point.
Yeah, so I couldn't go and do my assemblies. And so what I did was I had to pivot that business and do virtual story times, which I have mastered Zoom, but I had to take a class.
Do you have your Zoom outfit?
Yeah, I do have my Zoom outfit, and I have my little
With
Zoom.
women, I check on that because I just throw a polo on and I got a dozen or more, so I switch them up.
And I have my Zoom set up in my guest room that looks like the Queen's Castle.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'll have to check it out.
Right, and I wrote a curriculum that's really been working well for virtual story times called Big Ideas for Little People. And each story time session focuses on like a concept for a really grown-up concept like empathy,
Right.
right? Or mindfulness.
So you have these special themes.
Yes, for each one.
And you just build on it and
Right.
explain it. That
we
sounds
do that.
great.
We do a story time, and then I do a guided art lesson with the kids on Zoom.
How are the kids?
You know, it's not the same as being in person, but
That's why I'm
it's
asking.
still
I
a
wonder.
good thing. It's still a good thing to be able to know that they're engaged at home and on their computers.
Sure.
Just something to just keep them,
And they have somebody other than the parent or a
or
teacher.
the teacher.
Yes.
It's a great little relief for the teacher and for mom and dad. So that has
Wow.
really worked out well too.
No, that is great.
Yeah. And then, always a teacher, once a teacher, always a teacher.
I've heard
Alan.
that. Yes.
And one of the other things on my bucket list, not only to have my own TV show,
Yeah.
own my own company,
Yes.
which I've done those, was to be an author
Wow.
and write my own book. And so
I'm excited. What is beside me? You set these props up on my show like you own the place. Let me hear about
look
it.
out. Okay.
I'm standing back.
So I'm really excited that the pandemic kind of forced all of us to stay home, right?
Yes.
But it also gave us an opportunity to revisit projects that we might have been working on. And this was a project that I had been working on and just didn't have time for it. But it's a tourism picture book for children.
What a surprise. I noticed the title.
Passport to Pittsburgh for Kids, a book for little Yinzers.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful picture book that
The
takes.
pictures are amazing
I'm
here.
working with a fantastic, wonderful children's illustrator,
Drop the name.
Janet Carlisle. She's been a delight to work with, and her illustrations are just beautiful. And of course, I am writing the text, and there will be a page for all of the Pittsburgh attractions, and then information for parents in the back, games and puzzles for the kids to do.
Wow.
So it will be a real keepsake for people to buy for their children. And hopefully we'll have it in all the gift shops of all the Pittsburgh iconic locations
Sure,
someday.
sure. And maybe a few of the last stores that sell books
Yes,
because they're diminished.
they really are. They really are. But there's nothing that, being a teacher and a storyteller, there's nothing that replaces that book in your hand.
I'm old school. My son bought me like a Kindle,
Yeah,
and I never used it.
it's so hard.
Yeah,
I
and
don't-
I get books all the time. And during COVID, I read almost 70 books. So
wow,
yeah,
Alan, that's fantastic.
yeah, from all kind of genres, mostly history though.
Yes.
So
Well, I love all.
I'll have to put this book on my list.
You wait, you're going to get a signed copy.
Oh man, I'm honored. I'm thankful I invited you. I save money and I get
Yeah.
a famous autograph.
That's right. And so this hopefully will be coming out in September when kids are getting back to school. And,
Sure. Are you going to do a show on the book maybe?
Well, yes. Well, we can certainly do that. That would be wonderful.
That's my idea there.
That would be a
I'm
wonderful
brainstorming
idea.
with you.
That would be a wonderful idea. Yes.
Page by page.
Yeah, I think we could do that. No problem.
These would look great as they do on my show, so I understand this will help your show.
It will. It will. So it started out with just like a basic 12 places in Pittsburgh where kids want to go.
Right.
The most popular, the aviary and the museum and Kennywood. And
Sure.
But then,
Where'd you go next?
my publisher said there's way more than just those 12.
Yes.
And why not make it a really complete edition? So we're adding, we're going to have maybe up to 28 places.
28.
Yeah.
There were more.
There are so many more. So parents can use it as a guide too to plan family outings and adventures, and I think it will be a good thing for families to have.
Oh, it's in your wheelhouse. I sense that. You're powerful. That is such a strong idea and so
Thank
great
you.
for what we've gone through in the past year to come out
Yes.
with this. I know
Yeah.
you'll do well.
Thank
you have
you.
my blessing.
Thank you so much,
No,
Alan.
that is just great.
Yeah.
No doubt. What do you look forward to with Passport to Pittsburgh shows coming up?
Wow, Alan, I'm so glad you mentioned that.
I'm an
Wow.
idea guy, and that's my
We-
list.
I'm excited. We're going to be doing a whole new series this spring for Passport to Pittsburgh Adventures. And as a matter of fact, you're going to be my first guest. We're going to do a whole series on, we need to get people back into our ballparks.
Yes.
We need to get people back downtown. We need to get people feeling comfortable going back to all the places in Pittsburgh
Sure.
that they loved.
Right.
So we are going to do a show called Play Ball, and it's going to be, we're not going to give it all away, but
No,
it's
no,
going to
no.
be a
Tease them a little.
really special edition focused on some things down around PNC Park.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm looking forward
And
to
they're
that.
large things. They're
Yes,
large
they
things.
are. Yes, they are.
I'll help you a little bit there, but no, I'm honored again. Thank you for asking me to be on and agreeing to a date.
Yes.
So next Tuesday we'll be letting it rip.
And then it'll be out hopefully very soon for
Sure.
everyone to view.
Yes.
Yeah.
Within a week or so.
That's right.
Dave Cable's the best.
He is. He is.
There's no doubt. Anything else that you'd like to put out there? Because we covered a lot of ground here on your bucket list, your educational list 4 times, becoming
know.
educated.
I know.
How many degrees do you actually have now?
And just 2, Alan.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
I was thinking there was 4. That's what I was thinking.
Just 2, but
Okay.
you know, really the best education is just getting out there and
Sure.
experiencing things. I think that's why my teacher and me, you know, these are like the tours that I create are like field trips for grown-ups.
No, that's what I thought so cool about it.
Do you remember going on a field trip
Yes,
when you were
loved
a kid?
it. Loved
right?
it. Yes.
But you know, I've taken that to a new level for grown-ups because I really do believe that people don't want to be passive and they don't want to just sit there. They want to learn something. They want to do something. They want to experience something new. So on all my tours, I do try to incorporate that.
That's
and
great.
there's always good food too, Alan.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is great.
Pittsburgh is loaded with good food.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I understand. I've been to a few of those places.
right. So we always feed them and get them something good to drink, wine tasting, you know, something great. But it's like a field trip for grown-ups, and you'll learn something too.
Being with you, I learn something every time. There's no doubt.
Yes.
That's what I like learning from people and their experiences. And I learned a long time ago, if you have an idea, I'll share this with everybody. My secret is do it. If you need a meeting or 2, have it, but then do it, and you line up the right people like Kim described to you, with illustrators, publishers. You get all the ducks in a row, and we're doing it like this.
You know what, Alan? I couldn't agree with you more.
Thank you.
I want to say something else. It's never too late to do it either. I'm not embarrassed. I started my business in my 50s, and I'm happy to call myself a late bloomer. But
Right.
it's never too late, and when you do start something like we did, you bring a wealth of experience with you
And wisdom.
and wisdom.
I didn't get this color of hair without getting some wisdom, although your hair looks beautiful today.
Wow, only my hairdresser knows for sure.
Definitely. No, that is great. And we're going to be winding this show down. And
Thank you, my friend.
We only have a few more seconds to do it since I got to make sure I hit the button here. But I want to thank you again for being a great guest, having me on a show of yours next Tuesday. It's just awesome. And you answered so many great things. I got some background on you, so that was just fantastic. I hope all of you enjoy my great interview with Kim Adley. Thank you very much. And we'll see you on the next show. Please stay tuned and make sure you like that Facebook page, Alan Levine, The Talking Machine Show.